I feel today? Ask yourself this question.
What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Let's go! We ready! We ready! We ready! We ready! And let's go to that! And let's go to that!
When I step on the field, I send one message. And this is what it feels like. This is what it feels like.
Football is getting hit. That's it.
It's gonna be football now! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Let's hunt now! Let's hunt now! Let's go! Let's hunt! We ready! And let's go to that! And let's go to that!
We're talking about the Jets like we're talking about the Saints. You know, all this holler, we the Miami Heat of football. Yeah. The bottom line is you got to buckle up your chin strap.
It's embarrassing.
Yeah.
Don't disrespect the game like that. There's too much crying from them.
He's a man. They can be hit just like us. He's a man.
You already make the big money.
He's a man.
Don't cry when you step on the field, man. That's war out there.
When I step on the field, I send one message. And this is what it feels like.
Oh, my bad. Your bad don't work in my world.
What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! We ready! And let's go to that! And let's go to that! It's a wrap. Game over.
Nah, it's just getting started right here on the lunch break. Powered by Jones Media and Entertainment, or JM&E, as we like to call it. And we are broadcasting live on ROKU TV, courtesy of BS3 TV. I want to appreciate Ben Sutter III, King Doc, and the family. Man, I appreciate y'all allowing me to be a part of it. It's a fast break edition of the Freestyle Friday. About to get it in and then wrap it up for the week. So a lot happening. One of the coaching vacancies is no longer open. Carolina decided to go with Frank Reich instead of Steve Wilkes, who went 6-6 as the interim head coach on a team that had no chance. But again, the NFL doing what the NFL does. No, better yet, let me say it. The owners of the teams in the NFL doing what they like to do, hire their people. And again, I used to be real upset about it. I'm no longer upset about it. You know, when you own something, you can hire, you can select, you can choose whoever you want. Just miss me on the whole best man for the job thing, because it is not a meritocracy. Hadn't been a meritocracy forever, probably since inception. So, Frank Reich is a good choice. He's qualified. What he does in Carolina differently than what he did in Indianapolis, because he doesn't have a quarterback in Carolina like he did not have quarterbacks in Indianapolis, supposedly. So we'll see. I hope Steve Wilkes gets a fair chance somewhere. He got a raw deal in Arizona and, again, got a raw deal in Carolina. But, again, man, for some reason, some way, somehow, good things tend to happen to good people. So I believe somewhere down the line, he is going to get a fair chance and get to show people, what he's made of. So definitely looking forward to that for him. Houston Texans still playing around with the head coaching. It's like they're trying to pick the next Royal Rumble. They're interviewing a lot of people, but hey, are they quality interviews, and are they seriously looking for a quality candidate, or do they have their mind made up already and they're just going through the motions? I am on record saying I hope DeMeco Ryans stays far, far away from this organization being run by Cal McNair and Nick Caserio. I don't want this to be DeMeco Ryans' first job. Just don't. They are a poorly run organization. I don't think that the ownership nor the general manager know what they're doing as far as rebuilding organizations. I think that they're, both intelligent in their own right. Let me use some things that, you know, certain people like to use. They're very articulate, you know, very well spoken. I just don't think that they know how to run an organization. I think that Cal McNair is the new Mark Davis. Al Davis, new football. Mark Davis does not. Mr. Bob McNair, new football for the most part. Cal McNair does not. Doesn't mean he's a bad person. Doesn't mean he's a villain. Doesn't mean he's done sadistic things. Just doesn't know how to run an organization. I don't care what your daddy knows how to do. It does not mean you know how to do it. And for all the people who, yeah, but you know, he's a billionaire and da 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 da. You can have all the money in the world and not know how to do everything in the world. And I think that's part of the problem. Folks think that billionaires have this innate sense of intellectual competency, that they're brilliant in whatever they do, and they're not. In fact, the real ones will tell you, nah, that ain't the case. I'm good in oil and gas, or I'm good in technology. I'm good in this, but put me in something else, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. So, and, you know, let's not be fooled. Nick Caserio has never been a general manager at anybody's organization. And if you're going to try and tell me that he rebuilt the New England Patriots or he got the Patriots to the Super Bowl, I'm going to call you a lie to your face. He did not. He was a part of the organization, but he was not the lead dog on any of it. So for folks to come in and give him unfettered grace and unfettered respect and just, you know, this appreciation for something that he has never done, I don't have to do that. I'm not drinking that Kool-Aid. I'm not drinking that Kool-Aid. So the Texans have interviewed everybody but Jesus. At some point, they will make a decision. There are some folks that feel like they're waiting for either DeMeco Ryans or John Gannon, the defensive coordinator for the Philadelphia Eagles, both of which are still playing in the conference championships. Okay, again, I don't want DeMeco Ryans to get caught up in this minutia, and if Gannon wants to get caught up in it, so be it. He's not a quote-unquote, you know, high-profile pick. He is not a, you know, he's somebody that they could have gotten last year. He's somebody they could have gotten the year before that. So, you know, what was it all about? What was it all about? It's Freestyle Friday. I'm freestyling, so there we go. Erica Kenyatta, you are leading so far after 2 weekends in the Lunch Break Weekly, keeping up with the Joneses Pick'em Challenge, the playoff edition. You are competing for $500 cash, and in the current standings, you are leading the way with 10 wins. No, I'm sorry. You're second. Miss Pearl is leading the way with 10. Erica with a K is second with 9. Amber, third with 9. Alexis, fourth with 9. Emmanuel, fifth with 9. And Al High, sixth with 9. So again, for all 6 of you all, be sure to get me your picks by 1 o'clock p.m. on Sunday, Central. You know how to get them to me, either email or text them, and use the 5:30 game, the Kansas City and Cincinnati game, for your tiebreaker. Give me the exact final score for both teams. Please do not leave that off, because that's going to automatically make you last in whatever part of the picks that you come in. So you're competing for $500 cash, so don't blow it now. Do everything that you've done all year long. Don't blow it now. Again, the current standings, I apologize, current standings. Miss Pearl, number 1 with 10. She's been perfect each week. Number 2 is Erica with a K. Number 3, Amber. Number 4, Alexis. Number 5, Emmanuel. Number 6, Al High. Boy, the ladies are just running this thing. The ladies are running this thing. All right, let me take my first break. I'll be right back right after this on the lunch break, powered by JM&E, streaming live on ROKU TV, courtesy of BS3 TV.
What do you get when you watch or listen to the Life Happens podcast? Well, I'll let them tell you.
Kim and I are both ministers of the gospel, and the Life Happens podcast is a beautiful balance by simply taking our spirituality with real life and merging it together to create a beautiful balance. And that's what we do.
BS3 Network proudly presents Life Happens Podcast, where Christianity and life intersect. Live every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Central. If you're looking for a sports program that gives you the flavor.
Washington Commanders? Really?
This whole thing stinks to high heaven.
That pulls no punches.
Thuggish act by a thuggish actor.
That gives you some humor.
Praise everything LeBron does and never criticize it.
If you want a show that gives you good times, then this is that show. BS3 Network proudly presents
I am Cole Johnson and welcome to
Cole Sports with a Z. Every Friday on Patreon and every Saturday on YouTube, Spreaker, and all other outlets.
All right, y'all, we're back here on the lunch break, powered by JM&E, streaming live on ROKU TV, courtesy of BS3 TV. It's our Freestyle Friday. I just gave my take on the Texans coaching search. Anyway, Carolina decided to go with Frank Reich. We'll see what happens for Steve Wilks. First of all, he should be hired immediately as a defensive coordinator somewhere. Second of all, the man should have gotten a head coaching job in Carolina. But again, I get it. That's that man's own team, and he's able to hire whoever he wants to hire. Talk about the games tomorrow. On Sunday. Talk about the games on Sunday. The early game at 2:00 Central is going to be the Philadelphia Eagles hosting the San Francisco 49ers. The Eagles are a 2.5-point favorite in that game at home. I'm going with Jalen Hurts and the Eagles. I'm going with Jalen Hurts and the Eagles in a very close game. I believe that Hurts is going to get it done because he brings more to the table than most quarterbacks. And I'm not talking about just running ability. He's got a football IQ that very few people give him credit for. He's got a focus and an attention span on the details and on not getting too high or getting too low about certain things. And I just think that's a trait in quarterbacks that is on different levels. Some quarterbacks have it real good. Other quarterbacks don't. He's got it on a level that we don't see very often. And Philadelphia's defense, I think, especially their secondary, is going to give Brock Purdy the problems that we expected to see him have as a rookie quarterback, Mr. Irrelevant, wasn't on very many people's radar, has come in and done the little things well. He has managed the game very well. And with that defense and that running game, listen to me, Deebo Samuels, those kind of guys, when Kerry Kittles, when you got that kind of team, you don't try to do too much and mess it up. You do what you're supposed to do and let it cook, let it work for itself. I think Philadelphia is going to keep him uncomfortable long enough for them to get the win. I don't expect it to be a blowout like it was against the Giants, but I do expect Philadelphia to come out on top. So that's what I've got in that one, Philadelphia by a field goal. All right, and then the late game, the 5:30 game Central, Kansas City will be hosting the Cincinnati Bengals, a team that Kansas City has not beaten in their last three matchups. In their last three outings, Kansas City has not been able to beat Cincinnati, which is why I said the other night on a show with Jeff Barnes and Big Phil, I think this is somewhat personal for Kansas City, for Andy Reid, for Eric Bieniemy, and for Patrick Mahomes. I feel like, and for Travis Kelce, because he played at the University of Cincinnati along with his brother. I feel like they're tired of hearing people talk about Cincinnati having Kansas City's number. And then the reporting at ESPN where they're calling the stadium in Kansas City Burrowhead instead of Arrowhead, listen, you giving them enough bulletin board material where they don't need any help. Cincinnati's a good team. Cincinnati's on the verge of becoming a great team, especially if they go to back-to-back Super Bowls for the AFC. You know, got to give Zach Taylor credit, done far better than I thought he would. And again, I'm from Cincinnati, so I'm giving them love. I'm giving them love. But that being said, you don't need to give Kansas City any extra motivation to beat you. You don't need to give Patrick Mahomes any extra motivation to make plays. You don't need to give Travis Kelce, the momentum to get fired up and that kind of stuff. You just don't need to do that. You just don't need to do that. So I'm going Kansas City in that one. I said on that show the other night that with Patrick Mahomes, I'm going Kansas City. Without Patrick Mahomes, I'm going Cincinnati. Did y'all see Patrick Mahomes working out this week? No boot, no limp, no gimp, just straight, here I am. Let's go. Let's play. That Patrick Mahomes who, if he can sustain that and maintain that, come on, man. It's Kansas City. I told y'all at the beginning of the year when everybody, Buffalo, y'all was all in love with Buffalo, and Buffalo is not there. Real trash on their general manager, Bean. Trash comments. Don't be a trash organization, man. The Bills Mafia, the success that the organization is having should be met with some type of decorum, with some type of maturity and respect. And the general manager for Buffalo had some of the most immature and ignorant comments, that he made the other day as he was talking about the loss to Cincinnati. He's talking about, I don't want to be so bad that we can get a number one pick. Talking about their Jamar Chase, their wide receiver. Listen, y'all tails haven't gotten out of the conference championship. Y'all's tails haven't been to a Super Bowl since hell I can remember. And you downgrading Jamar Chase and the Bengals organization, who could possibly be going to back-to-back Super Bowls. Grow up, man. Grow up. Ain't nobody proud of them dumb behind comments, but some in the Bills Mafia family and your family. But for anybody who's business minded and focused and all that, that's immature. That's immature. Shame on you, Bean, general manager Bean. It's whack, bro. So anyway, let me get done with the teams that are lost and not in the discussion, and deal with the teams that are. Cincinnati and Kansas City. I told y'all at the beginning of the year, Kansas City would be on top when it's all said and done. Everybody tried to tell me Buffalo. They're not there yet. They're not there yet with maturity. They're not there yet with their organization. They're not there yet with their, game plans and putting everything together. I see why now, because you got a little ignorant child running things and general manager Bean that, he trying to get likes and clicks, and everybody else trying to get wins and trophies. But anyway, I digress. Kansas City is where I thought they'd be, and they will be where I think that they're going to be after Sunday. They will beat the Cincinnati Bengals again in a close one. Right now, they're favored by 1 point. Cincinnati was the favorite once they saw Patrick Mahomes was healthy. They gave the nod to Kansas City, and that's where I think it'll belong. What's going on, my friend? My friend says Niners win. British Swim School, Austin says Niners win. Sorry. I'm telling Brock Purdy is going Brock Purdy. He go show up. He gonna show up. You'll see what I'm talking about. You'll see what I'm talking about. Look, keep your phone on. I'm gonna text you and say, okay. All right. What's up, WTG Sports? What's good, fam? All right, let me take a break. I'm wrapping it up after this next break. We'll be right back right after this on the lunch break, powered by JM&E, streaming live on ROKU TV, courtesy of BS3 TV.
This is a BS3 Network presentation.
I want to show that attainability. I want to show the accessibility of this kind of lifestyle.
From social media to having conversations with friends and family, you always have to put on face and say face.
What brings a smile to my face is the one person
that totally believes in me, and that's my beautiful wife, Jody.
I just had to stop because I didn't value myself. I didn't love myself. And it's like, I have to learn to love myself.
Changing the world one conversation at a time. This is Revelations.
Steph Curry, Tim Anderson, Jordan Alvarez, and it's caught. Debo Samuel with the catch. Michael Jordan can sense.
The Fro just got the king.
BS3 Network.
The hottest of hot takes. The coldest of cold hard facts. This is Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson. Weekdays at 8 a.m. Eastern. Check your local listings for your viewing and listening pleasure.
All right, y'all, back here on the lunch break, powered by JM&E, streaming live on ROKU TV, courtesy of BS3 TV. Snowman in the Morning, great show. Cole Johnson Sports, great show. Life Happens podcast, very great show. A lot of great shows. All you got to do is just download BS3 TV from your Roku streaming device. If you don't have a Roku streaming device, just go to the website, BS3 Network. That's bs3network.com. You'll get all access, all right? All right, let me get back to it. As we get ready to wrap it up. The Houston Astros made a move. They brought in Atlanta front office executive Dana Brown. Dana Brown is the man that they tapped to be their general manager. Dana Brown, who has been around Major League Baseball since 1989, has worked with the Philadelphia Phillies organization, scout for the Pittsburgh Pirates, director of amateur scouting for Montreal, stayed with them when they became the Washington Nationals. Toronto hired him as a special assistant to the general manager, and he's been the vice president of scouting for Atlanta for the last several years. And then the Astros hired him as their general manager yesterday. Now, here's the thing. He's the only black general manager in the Major League Baseball, the only one. And the Astros are now only the second team in Major League Baseball history ever to have a black general manager and a black manager at the same time, with now Dana Brown and Dusty Baker. AJ, why are you always talking about the black? Because it doesn't happen often. It doesn't happen often, and there are a grand total of 1 black general managers in Major League Baseball. So, yeah, I'm highlighting that. This is only the second team in Major League Baseball history to have a black general manager and a black manager at the same time. Yeah, I'm highlighting that. Again, owners can hire whoever they want to hire. They can use whatever criteria they want to use. But, I'm still going to highlight it when something rare happens that should not be so rare, should just be a norm. Whether it's an Asian general manager, whether it's a Hispanic general manager, whether it's a black general manager, along with a black manager or an Asian manager or a Hispanic manager. It should be a norm and not an abnormal situation. So again, Jim Crane, have never really been a fan, but if he's developing, if he's maturing, if he's changing, he brought in Dusty Baker, that has worked out. Now he's given a shot to Dana Brown. We'll see how that works out. But again, I respect and applaud the effort. I respect and applaud the hiring. I respect and applaud the decision. And he said yesterday, he's earned this job. His resume is impeccable. Impeccable. And when you look at what, they had going on over in Atlanta with bringing in talent and bringing in, the filling the holes and the needs of the team, he has proven he can do that. So if he can do that here in Houston, let's go. Let's do like Dusty said. Let's win it again. Dusty say, listen, 1 is nice, but 2 is great. So let's see if they can do it again. All right. What else are we talking about? A lot of quarterbacks rumored to be on the move. that quarterback up in Green Bay. Some say he may end up in New York with the Jets. That would be very interesting. Lamar Jackson, I think, is going to be franchise tagged in Baltimore. I don't see them moving on from him this season unless there's something just absolutely unthinkable going on behind the scenes that many people don't know about. I see Lamar Jackson back in Baltimore this coming season on a franchise tag. Now, whether he plays is a whole different thing, but I see him back there. I also see the Houston Texans making a move at quarterback. I see Carolina making a move at quarterback. I see the LA Rams making a move at quarterback. And I'm sorry for all of y'all who thought, Baker has found a home. They're not going to try and go long-term with Baker Mayfield over at LA. Yeah, he was a great little fit with Matthew Stafford, but I see them bringing in a young franchise quarterback potential and trying to see if they can get anything out of Matthew Stafford. But I don't see, if anything, Baker Mayfield is a gap quarterback, not the answer at quarterback. WTG Sports, why would they trade for him in New York when they can sign Jimmy G outright? Come on, Aaron Rodgers, Jimmy G. I like Jimmy G far more than I will ever like Aaron Rodgers, but, we're just talking talent now. And there's some people in that organization that have some relationship with Aaron Rodgers, so he would be a better fit, I believe, than Jimmy G. But Jimmy G is definitely going to be the answer for at quarterback for a team. I just don't know which. Tom Brady is obviously rumored to be on the move. I personally wish he would move home and not to another team. BS3 says, I agree, Lamar Jackson will be franchise tag. Jameis Winston, another one that's going to be out there. Before you roll your eyes so hard and think that, he's washed, man, very few quarterbacks have had as much turnover and change at key positions, head coach, offensive coordinators, than Jameis Winston. Y'all use that as an excuse for guys that you like, but when it's a guy like Jameis Winston, it's, oh, he's washed, he's done, that kind of stuff. Now, give him some consistency in a well-run offense with a smart offensive coordinator, quarterback coach. Jameis Winston can perform as well, if not better, than some of these cats y'all are wearing their jerseys around. All right, listen, I got to get ready to go. Again, doing a fast break edition of the show. Let me see if there's anything I need to add. Already talked about Dana Brown. I already talked about the playoffs. Again, for those of you in the top 6 of the Lunch Break Weekly Keeping Up with the Joneses Pick'em Challenge, who are now competing for $500 cash. I got to have your picks by Sunday at 1 p.m. Central. 1 p.m. Central. Y'all know how to get them to me. And use the Cincinnati-Kansas City game for the tiebreaker. Cincinnati-Kansas City for the tiebreaker. I need the exact final score for both teams. As always, let's not be divided. Let's be united. I truly do love you. There's nothing you can do about it except meet us here on Monday. Coach Cole going to have a host of HBCU folks talking about the Ed Reed, Bethune-Cookman situation. Be sure and tune in for that on Monday at 12 noon. Until then, y'all have a blessed and safe weekend. We'll talk to y'all soon.
It's Sybil Wilkes with what you need to know. Today, it's Friday. We made it. January 27th, 2023. Number 1. The fallout continues following the shooting of first grade teacher Abigail Zwerner earlier this month by a 6-year-old student in the Rich Neck Elementary School in Newport News, Virginia. Wednesday, the Newport News School Board voted 5-1 to fire the school district superintendent, Dr. George Parker III. The school's assistant principal, Dr. Ebony Parker, resigned earlier in the day. According to Ms. Werner's lawyer, the school had several opportunities to prevent the shooting from happening, but did nothing. Ms. Werner continues to recuperate as students are expected back in the Rich Neck classrooms Monday, January 30th. Number 2. Wednesday, the Biden-Harris administration announced new actions to increase fairness in the rental market and in further principles of fair housing. The administration lays out principles to drive action by the federal government, state and local partners, and the private sector to strengthen tenant protections and encourage rental affordability. Before the pandemic, well over 2 million eviction filings and roughly 900,000 evictions occurred annually, disproportionately affecting Black women and their children. Number 3, a Mississippi school district has agreed to retract a policy that banned political or religious slogans on face masks in response to a lawsuit from the family of a girl who was told not to wear one that said, "Jesus loves me." Matthew and Jennifer Booth sued on behalf of their daughter Lydia, who was in 3rd grade when she wore the Jesus Loves Me mask to Simpson Central School in the Panola community. The Simpson County School District's mask policy originally did not prohibit religious messages, but the policy was changed after a teacher told the 9-year-old girl in 2020 she could not wear the mask with a religious slogan. Number 4, 5 people were shot Monday afternoon in an apartment invasion on the south side of Chicago. 2 people were killed and 3 others were wounded. 3 of the victims are transgender. The mother did not want her identity revealed because of safety reasons, but she says she believes this targeted attack was a robbery and a hate crime because her child and her friends are transgender. Chicago police are still looking for the suspects and could not discuss a motive because they said it was unique to the crime. There is a $15,000 reward for information that leads to an arrest. Number 5, Ronaldo Webb, the owner of Pet Plate, is making history as the only Black-owned dog food brand with national distribution. When Webb couldn't find healthy food options for his dog Winston, who suffered from irritable bowel syndrome, he took matters into his own hands and began cooking whole, nutrition-packed foods at home. To date, Pet Plate has raised more than $21 million in funding after a rough start, with Webb delivering meals on his bicycle. Go to the Pet Plate website to browse product offerings. Woof woof. Here's your daily inspiration from Yogi's Jewels. Life is a series of choices. Choose to openly and fully express your God-given creative self. Amen. To subscribe to my free daily What You Need to Know newsletter, please visit SybilWilkes.com. Be informed, be empowered.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.